Really? Me?
Yeah.
You know what? Take this guitar.
Just give me $20. No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
Give me $20, right?
It's one thing when customers get loud, but when a group of teens storms into the pawn shop ready to throw punches, things get out of control fast. Security's on high alert, tensions are sky high, and the shop turns into a full-blown battleground. This is the insane moment. Teens started a brawl inside Hardcore Pawn, and no one saw it coming. We'd start this off with a lady who stylishly walks into the pawn shop looking like she was Queen Elizabeth. She walks straight to Les and introduces herself. She's wearing a really good-looking fur coat. She tells Les that she wants to sell the fur coat for $1,000, and Les is forced to raise his eyebrows and look at the lady, but it doesn't seem like the lady is ready to take no for an answer.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm
Hi, Shannon.
What you give me for this?
How much you want?
At least 1,000.
It's very pretty. The problem is that we don't go kind of money on those.
Of course, she starts to yell when Les tells her that he can't give her $1,000 for the coat. Les tried explaining to the lady that he can't give her the amount of money she is asking for because he won't be able to sell it at that amount or more. He offers the lady $100 for the coat, and that just sends her temper through the roof, and she begins to yell at Les, saying that she is not going to take $100.
You're gonna give her more than $100?
More than $1.
What the hell? Who the is he?
He's my fur expert. Look at
Oh, his chin is first.
Haha, you can tell she didn't see that coming. The lady insists that she is not going to leave the pawn shop unless Les gives her the money she wants. Les asks his security guard how much he is willing to pay for the fur coat, and he says not more than $1. The lady hears that, and her anger gets even worse. She then says she isn't leaving, except they call security, and Les grants her wish.
Don't know who y'all this mother mink coat.
It's fine.
It's a mink, baby.
Okay. You see a lot of strange things. Oh, boy.
I'm glad she's out of the pawn shop. That lady was ready to cause a lot of trouble in the pawn shop, and you could tell that Les was in no mood to entertain her drama. Just as she requested, Les got the security guard to escort her out of the building. Even as she was being escorted out of the pawn shop, she continued to yell at the top of her voice. Looks like she won't be getting the rent money she wanted so bad.
Oh, it's...
Holy Darren for the Detroit Red Wings. He was part of the team for
Damn, that thing is huge. I wonder how they were able to catch something this big. Now, Darren McCarty, one of the best hockey players on the Detroit Red Wings, is outside the pawn shop with something quite extraordinary and mind-blowing. He is outside with his friend, and they want to sell a 14-foot alligator that was gotten in Florida. Now they want to sell it to Les, and you can see that Les is very, very interested in the item.
So, did you want to part?
I'd like to sell it. About $11,000.
How did you get that?
To actually have it taxed.
This seems like a deal that's not going to go easy. Les already makes it clear that he is interested in buying the item. I mean, it's from a famous star player. Les asked them how much they wanted to sell the alligator, and they said $11,000. Of course, that's not going to happen. Les then asked them how much they really wanted, and Darren McCarty's friend said $5,000 with a few store credits.
What I can do for you, because I know this guy, I'll give you $1,500 and $500 trade. Sorry.
Sorry. Thank you.
Appreciate you bringing it in.
Good seeing you, man. Be cool.
Thank you.
Hold on, that's the end of the deal? Wow, I honestly thought Les was going to agree to pay $5,000 for the item. Les offered to pay $1,500 in cash and $500 in trade. Darren McCarty and his friend gave some thought to it, and that deal didn't seem like it was going to favor them. In the end, they told Les that they wouldn't sell it for that price. I am genuinely shocked.
$2,000 cash and $500 trade? For $500, you'll be saving money. Please, you bought it.
I would.
So, what do we
All
decide?
right, well, 2,700 in store.
Aha! I knew that deal could not have ended just like that. It just did not seem right. Darren McCarty and his friend were about to leave the parking lot when Les offered them a new deal. He told them that he was now willing to pay $2,000 in cash and $700 in trade. Darren McCarty and his friend gave some thought to it, and they went back into the pawn shop to make a deal. A win-win for everybody.
I think it's a good idea to bring him in.
Darren McCarty came in, he and Sid talking back and forth.
We have a new hire.
Who?
Darren McCarty.
What?
You know who he is?
So we're bringing
Retired from hockey.
Well, Ashley definitely does not like the idea of hiring Darren McCarty to work at the pawn shop. After the successful deal with Darren McCarty and his friend, Seth has been in constant communication with Darren McCarty. Life hasn't been all that good for Darren McCarty since he retired from playing hockey, and so Seth thinks it's a good idea to give him a job at the pawn shop. Ashley thinks it's a bad idea because Darren McCarty has no experience aside from being a hockey player.
Never had any experience dealing with.
I don't think he has any retail experience. He's a professional player.
Okay, so why would you hire him here?
I was growing up. Of course I
You
wanted
just hire
him to work.
people that you look up to.
I think it's a good fit.
So all the people that I looked up.
Let's hope Les and Seth know exactly what they are doing. Ashley expresses her concerns and tells them that she does not think it's advisable to hire someone who does not have any knowledge or experience in running a pawn business. Seth tells Ashley that he is an icon he has looked up to since he was a kid. Les even says that having a celebrity in the pawn shop would be good for business. Once again, let's hope they are right.
It's gonna be a good day.
First day, I'm excited to have given the opportunity to learn. Darren,
Hey.
welcome. Welcome here, buddy.
Seth and Les actually mean business. They were not kidding when they said they wanted to give Darren McCarty a job at the pawn shop. Darren McCarty shows up at the pawn shop the following day wearing an employee uniform, looking like he is ready to work. Seth explains to Darren McCarty said that before he can start to work with customers, he needs to learn the basics, and Rodney is going to show him how it's done.
That's great.
Thanks, Darren.
Again, welcome, brother.
I have doubts about Darren. He played Has he ever looked at a piece of jewelry that my brother and dad made the right decision?
He does seem like he is ready to learn and be of good help to the pawn shop. Darren McCarty is also grateful to Seth and Les for agreeing to give him a job, given the fact that getting a job with the current economic situation is not easy. Ashley still can't shake off the feeling that hiring Darren McCarty does not feel like the right thing to do. If he is ready to learn, I guess there is no harm in trying.
All right.
Hey, how are you?
Steve, nice to meet you.
How you doing?
Steve?
These jerseys, and I thought they might be worth Red Wings.
Now, what are the odds of that actually happening? This walks into the pawn shop with something that blows away Les's mind. The customer brings in two different jerseys. The first one is a Red Wings Chris Draper jersey, and the second one is a Darren McCarty jersey. Seth hears that name, and his spider senses immediately spike. They literally just gave Darren McCarty a job at the pawn shop.
For 300.
How'd you come up with that
I
number?
came up with these here. They were coming up around $250 a piece.
I'll go $60. Were these games?
At this point, they might need the real Darren McCarty to come help them verify if the jersey is legit. Now, Les goes on to ask the Visions how he wants for the jerseys, and he tells Les that he wants $300 for both jerseys. Les frowns at the price and proceeds to offer him $60. The customer takes a deep breath and then tells them he will go down to $250. What's going to happen next?
Come over here. We need some.
We need some authentic. When Darren walked up, get deer in headlights. So you big? I bleed it. You bleed it. So you know who this?
If the guy who played for the club tells you that it's not up to $250, you can bet that you are not getting $259 for the jerseys. While Les, Seth, and the customer are debating the prices, Darren McCarty walks into the pawn shop and Les asks him to take a look at the jerseys and give a price. Darren McCarty takes a look and says that he can get them for as low as $80 online.
I'd offer you mine. Almost had a heart attack. What the is he thinking?
120 for these two.
Offers the guy $120. Irritating because I know I have to stick behind my guy.
Haha, looks like hiring Darren McCarty was not so much of a good idea. After Darren McCarty told the customer that he could get the jerseys for $80 online, he went on to offer the customer $120 for the jerseys. And Les almost had a heart attack. Being that they were the ones who gave him the job, they didn't want it to seem like he made a wrong call, so they went on with the price and made a deal for $120 with the customer.
And then boom, we sell it for $150. Knew that if he signed his name, it's probably worth double. I still wouldn't have given the guy $120. Strategy on Darren's part.
Ow! Seems to me like Darren McCarty has been able to redeem himself in front of everyone. $120 was a lot of money to give to the customer who brought him the jerseys. Darren McCarty realized that he messed up, and his way of fixing the issue was to sign on the jerseys. Having them signed would mean that whoever was going to buy them would pay double the amount of the money that was used to buy them. Very smart move if you ask me.
So Dennis, yeah, so he's been doing great. He's been doing great on the floor, so what I want you to do is memorabilia. Who better than a professional athlete, you know? Great. This is my go-to guy, sporting memorabilia, so.
You can tell that Les is pleased with the fact that he was able to get Darren McCarty a job at his pawn shop. He has been doing so well and making so much money for the pawn shop. Les then tells one of the employees to show Darren McCarty the sporting memorabilia. He wants Darren McCarty to fully be part of the pawn shop and not have to feel like a stranger when he is there. Looks like hiring him was not a bad idea after all. Good one, Les.
How you guys doing?
I'm trying to sell my.
How much are you looking for?
I don't even know. $200.
Yeah.
Because
These guys have to be the most unserious teens I have ever seen. Geez. They walk into the pawn shop and meet up with Seth at the counter. They bring in a guitar and they tell Seth that they want to sell it for $200. They then go on to tell Seth that they need the money to run a DNA test on a lady's baby that they had both slept with. Imagine that? You should see the look on Seth's face when they said that.
These guys were complete. Yeah.
put $100, $200 for this.
Right. It's a no-name guitar, just a piece of junk. Doesn't look like it's gonna happen.
How's that, man?
It's
$200.
busted. I know.
who do these kids think they are? It's crazy that these guys are actually threatening Seth like they own the place. Seth takes a good look at the guitar, and he sees that it's in very horrible condition. He tells the kids that he doesn't think he can help them out because he won't be able to sell the guitar. One of the kids goes on to curse at Seth and tells him that he is not leaving unless he gets some money for the guitar.
$20. Man, this place, man. I'll tell you, man. Bull anyways, bunch of garbage. Won't even give me $20. Look.
What the f***'s the matter with you?
Oh, Seth is pissed. He is pissed to his last nerve. Seth stands his ground and tells the kids that he is not going to buy the guitar or even give them the $20 that they are screaming for. The kids then decide to take the guitar and walk out of the pawn shop. As they get to the parking lot, they smash the guitar right in front of the pawn shop, and they just make Seth lose his temper. Now he is going to make them clean up their mess.
Hey, clean that up. Give me on now.
Get the out of here with your rich ass.
You're gonna with me on my.
Phew. For a second there, I thought Seth was going to get into a fight with those kids. They should count themselves lucky that Seth was able to keep his temper under control. After breaking the guitar on the pawn shop premises, Seth goes outside and tells the kids to clean up their mess. They refuse, and Seth walks right up to their faces and tells them to clean it up. They still refuse. Seth realizes that they just want to cause some trouble, and he walks away. What a bunch of crazy teens.
Borrow $200.
We might have a troublesome customer here. This lady walks into the pawn shop and she brings in a TV. She explains to Ashley that her auntie borrows $200 from her, and the auntie gave her the TV to pay off her debt. Ashley takes a good look at the TV and tells the lady that she can't buy the TV for $200. Ashley offers to pay the lady $125 for the TV, and the lady gets into an argument with Ashley.
I'm gonna demand, and I feel what you can do for me.
All what you can do is lower your voice and like.
Is lower your view however I feel.
That look says it all. That lady was not expecting to hear Ashley ask her to get out of the pawn shop. The lady gets into an argument with Ashley, and she starts to raise her voice and curse at Ashley. Ashley, still trying to explain to the lady that she can't buy the TV for $200, gets very upset and asks the lady to leave the pawn shop. Is the lady going to leave without causing a scene? Let's see.
Oh, I gotta leave. Well, pick it up and ask for
I'm gonna take your TV right up
for me. Thank you very much.
Yep.
On the range, you're gonna pay.
Have a good day.
Oh.
Just when you think the drama is about to end, boom, the customer decides to take it to another level. They might have to get the police involved at this point. The lady refuses to leave the pawn shop. Ashley then decides to pick up the TV from where the lady dropped it and takes it to the entrance of the pawn shop. The lady continues to create a scene and continues to curse at Ashley, calling her several horrible names.
Who's gonna be the one? Well, I'm not picking it up.
Bye.
I'm not going to just hand me my money ass bitch.
Please.
You, but get your head.
What does this lady think is going to happen when she leaves the TV at the entrance of the pawn shop? Some people can't take no for an answer, and this customer is one of those people. After Ashley dropped the TV at the entrance of the pawn shop, the lady still refused to pick it up and continued to yell at Ashley. Seeing that nobody was going to pick up the TV like she wanted, she decided to walk away and leave the TV and the entrance. Her loss.
Hi, how are you? Woman brings in an antique, those kind of things. I have them in my office. So tell me a little bit about.
It's probably made in the 1930s.
It's not all the time you get to hear Les say that he wants something. Antique items are his favorite things to acquire. This lady walks into the pawn shop and she drags with her an antique scale, and Les immediately turns into a fan. The lady explains how the scale works, and that just makes Les more interested in the item. Is he going to buy this scale? Well, let's find out.
Felix, step. We wanted to see if the scale, so we brought some people over.
And it's stopped.
He's too heavy. It didn't go. And step right up. Chris got on it. Is that right or wrong? Wrong.
That sucks. The antique scale that caught Les's attention does not work. The only condition that was going to make him buy the scale was if it worked properly. Les got 3 different people with 3 different body types to hop on the scale and check what they weighed. Sadly, the scale read all their weights wrong, and that just was not good news for the lady who brought in the scale. I wonder what's going to happen next.
Those are not spinning.
Problem was, the fortune telling didn't work. So one of the most expensive piece of glass.
Okay.
To repair it would have run $500.
At this point, is this lady ever going to say yes? This almost feels like a situation where the wrong dude is asking to marry her and she keeps saying no. Les told the lady that there were a lot of repairs to be done on the scale. He asked her how much she wanted and she told him $350. Of course that was going to happen. Les offered her $150 and she declined that offer. Now, they are in a bargaining war.
I'm holding firm.
Thank you very much. I really, the things that I had to do to repair it, there was no way to make a deal.
I guess that's the end of that deal. You can tell that Les really wanted to buy the antique scale from the lady, but she just would not give to his offer. Les went from $150 to $190, and the lady still was not ready to sell the scale to him. Seeing that she was not ready to change her mind, he appreciated her for bringing the scale into the pawn shop, and that ended the deal.
90-day extension, right?
Yeah.
So you're already lying.
I did it twice.
You're already lying.
I did
Impossible.
it twice.
You cannot get a 90-day extension on the phone.
Go pull up.
Doesn't matter. You might have come in. Listen. Are you gonna let me talk?
Computer.
Are you gonna let me talk?
You saying it don't matter? That ain't
It's impossible. We don't do that.
Looks like nobody is in the mood to entertain these guys' drama. Even Les helped the security to get the guy out of the pawn shop. Now everything was going pretty okay when this dude decided to walk into the shop to cause some trouble. The dude claimed that someone at the pawn shop told him that he had a 90-day extension to pick up an item. Here's where the problem is. That has never happened since the pawn shop has been opened, so clearly the dude is lying, and Seth really wasn't buying anything that the dude was saying.
I'm calling the police. Don't grab my arm, man. My arm is just. Hey, what you doing with my phone, man?
Take off. Take off. Let him go.
Call that.
He just got all excited. He
About
lost
what?
his stuff. He lost his stuff in
Okay.
pawn, and now
I could not agree with Rick any better for real. When it gets to customers who fall out of place, you have to do what's necessary. Seeing that the dude was not ready to cooperate, Les and his security team had to put their hands together and throw the guy out of the pawn shop. Funny enough, the guy was under the influence of alcohol. That explains why he was acting the way he did. Oh well, now he knows better. Next time he is going to stay clear from the pawn shop, especially when he is drunk. Here's the next item that walks into the shop.
Oh, but they're not gold. They're just dentures.
But look at the color on them. These are my mama's.
Where's your mom?
She at home right now. Look
Well,
at
how
the
can she
color
eat?
on them. She'll be okay. She can suck through a straw. Look at these.
They're really pretty.
You can't get these nowhere else.
Well, believe me, if I needed them for me.
Haha, Rick really was not expecting something like that to find its way into the pawn shop. I mean, what on earth is he going to do with that? After they bundled the drunk guy out of the shop, this lady walked in with her mother's dentures. I don't know what she was thinking, but she hoped to make some quick money from the sale of the item. Sadly, Les told her that there was nothing he could do with the dentures, and no one was ever going to buy them. Let's be honest, he was not wrong.
Holy mackerel. Come here, girl. Come here. Come here. How much did you want for her?
how much is that?
1,000.
Come on, relax. Almost ate my puppy.
She almost ate the puppy.
You can see the fear on everyone's face. They are terrified by that animal. Compared to having horses and donkeys, this is definitely out of the box. Now this guy walked into the shop looking to sell something you'd never expect. He brought in a wild lizard. He said he was hoping to sell it for $1,000. I don't think anyone in the shop wants to buy an animal that can rip off their fingers for $1,000. But oh well, let's see if they're crazy enough to want to buy the lizard.
We're gonna need to build an addition.
Right.
Yeah, why don't we go take a moment and discuss how much
Yeah.
in this worth?
Okay. What the hell are we gonna do with a monitor?
can't.
Jesus Christ. I mean, that's
can't
like
take that.
crazy. If he wouldn't have said it would have bit his finger off,